journey of life, because we can't go back. And we can't go back because we realize what we've already come through, and almost that we don't want to go back. That life is there, but it's no longer for us anymore. But that takes a little bit of time to recognize that and feel all the feelings that kind of come with that. And so then when we've done that and we've found our ability to rest with that and integrated that piece, then we kind of almost become ready for the next leg of the journey, which is kind of like the final stretch to get the cup. It's like the home stretch that we're on. And that's where the biggest part of the challenge of this cycle of the hero's journey. Oh, thank you. I'm explaining the journey so well, because it didn't feel like it. This last leg of the journey is where the biggest, that's the quest that we're reaching for, is the gold. And that is the death and the rebirth part of it. It's like we know that we could lose everything, but at the same time, we'll gain even more by doing this last leg of the journey to reach this thing that we don't even know what it is, but we know what it means. Somewhere inside of us, we know that it means, like in the never-ending story, that he was going to save the world that was falling apart around him. But along the way, he lost a lot of his allies, and this last leg of the stretch could have meant death for him. And it's like relating this to this idea of trauma. And I loved when I heard about this. Somebody explained it so very well, and some of you might recognize this. It's like a soldier who goes off to war, and I couldn't even imagine, because I don't know if any of you have ever had to face this. I haven't. But when you're faced with the idea that there are bodies dying around you, and you're now in the trench, but you have to come up fighting, if you do so trying to protect yourself, you won't have the ability to do what you need to do. And so it's kind of like this last leg of the journey. If you do it coming from this place of courage, regardless of what happens, whether you live or die, at that point actually almost is not even part of the picture, because if you die, your soul found that courage. Your soul found that courage to take that action regardless of the outcome. But when we do it from a place of, I don't know what's going to happen, versus this place of, it doesn't matter what's going to happen, I have to do this, those take on two totally different energies. And as a soul, and I mean, that's a really extreme synopsis, but if we can kind of look at it, even like, I mean, to just offer my own personal reflection on this, if I do this from a place of trying to protect all my horses and I don't know what's going to happen, of course I don't. None of us do. And at some point, we're going to get to the end of this timeline, and what is it that we wanted to really follow through with? And so it's idea of following through with taking this step and having faith and trust in the fact that you took the step, because taking the step is the thing that actually gets you to the cup, to the gold at the end of the rainbow. And then, so in most of these journeys through our life, we get there And because of the entire journey we've been through, we're a changed person. We can't go back. And it's like, how do I go back into my life now, into reality? And often when people go to a retreat, like a weekend retreat or something like that, you'll have changed. And then you have to go home and nobody else has changed, but you're completely changed.